Probably speaking, it's not something that comes naturally to me. In fact, if I'm being honest, standing here right now is one of the most uncomfortable things I've chosen to do. And that is slightly ironic. Because the idea I want to share with you today is about what happened when we act before we're ever ready. You see, I'm not here because I've suddenly become a great speaker, but I'm here because I choose to believe I can get better. And when we believe that we can get better, we attempt things that we otherwise avoid. That beliefs start to shape our actions, and our action shapes our results. This leads me to want to ask you a question today. Have you ever seen your boss coming and thought, I'm never going to make it, so you didn't run? You just kept walking, and the boss is still there. Still there. Still there, taking your stride. And as soon as you're about to get there, the boat leaves. And at that moment, you realize, I could have made it if I run. Now, think about it. You didn't miss the bus because you were late. You missed the bus because you already decided you're not going to make it. And here's the bad news. We don't only do this with bosses. We don't only do this when we see our boss coming and we thought we're late. We do this in our lives. We do this with opportunities. We do it with our goals and our future aspirations. You see, we don't miss opportunity because we can't make them. We miss opportunities because we already decided we're never going to get it. We tell ourselves things like, I don't have enough experience. Somebody else will be better. So we do not apply. We do not speak up. We do not try. And as we look back, we realize the moment has already passed. You see, for me, this stopped being a small thing the moment I walked into a bank. I walked into a bank not expecting something unusual. But suddenly, it became clear to me that something strange was happening. This is something I later understood was a robbery, involving a cash courier. I remember the bank doors being locked. Police were beginning to respond. There was a lot of tension in the room. I remember seeing a woman position herself between the door and the robber. And in that struggle, she was really hit badly, and it ended up on the floor. And I remember thinking, this no longer feels like a situation was happening around me. It felt like a moment where not making an action also like a decision. And I remember thinking, I did not have a title. Nobody has trained me for that. Nobody was also expecting me to act. But there was just a decision. And the truth is, I did not feel fearless. I didn't even feel ready. I did not feel certain about what was going to happen after. But I also had not already decided that I'm not going to act. So I did something. Later, that moment led to recognition I never expected, including a public police award and a commission's recommendation. It opened doors and led me to a room I never expected. But the most important part of this story is not what happened after. Because when the situation happens, when the moment arises, we don't suddenly become a different person. We act based on what we already told ourselves is possible. There's a simple idea in psychology. What we believe influences what we attempt, and what we attempt shapes our result. And I think it goes a little bit further than that, because our thinking patterns determines our living patterns. You see, the opportunity we take, the conversation we start, the risk that we avoid, the dream that we pursue, the ones that we abandoned, they often begin as a thought. Thought becomes our decisions. Decision becomes action. And action becomes our reality. So if you decide something is not for you, you do not just feel that, you act on it. And more accurately, you don't act. Now, this does not mean thinking alone changes everything. It does not guarantee success. And certainly it does not remove the risk. But it does guarantee one thing, and whether you already give yourself a chance at all. And the most defining moment in life does not always look an emergency. They look like the application you did not send. They look like the conversation you avoided. They look like the dreams you did not pursue. Not because you can't do it, because you already decided you're not going to make it. And because every time we choose not to act, we reinforce that belief. And now, over time, that becomes our reality. We often think changes start with a big moment, big risk, big opportunities. But the spark starts much earlier. The spark is the moment you realize you're not going to be able to do it. The spark is the moment you realize this is not good for you. So the next time you find yourself hesitating, I want you to ask yourself a question. Have I already decided the outcome before I even tried? The difference between where you are and where you want to be might not just be your ability, might not be your opportunity. It might just be the decision you make too early. And maybe the hardest part of this is that sometimes we just never get to know where the bus we didn't take would have led us. How many opportunities, conversations, experience did we quietly walk past simply because we already decided not to try? How many conversations could have changed our lives? How many ideas could have become something meaningful? Sometimes our life is shaped as much as the decision we didn't take as the one we did. Because taking action is where the possibility lives. Taking action also does not guarantee success. But doing nothing guarantees that nothing happens. And maybe the most honest of this is this talk itself. You see, I'm standing here not because public speaking suddenly became easier. I'm standing here because I choose to believe I could get better. And that shapes what I attempt. Which is exactly why I'm standing here. And maybe that is the real challenge. Not the bank. Not the talk itself. Not even the decisions. Maybe the challenge is you recognizing the moment in your life where you've already decided before the outcome. Because our thinking patterns determines our living patterns. The opportunity we take, the conversation we start, the risk we avoided, the dreams we pursue, they all begin with a decision. A decision to try, a decision to step forward, a decision to actually give yourself a chance. So if there's one thing I want you to take from today, please do not decide before you even tried. Because the life you want to live might be at the other side of a decision you haven't even made. And when life gives you that boss moment, I hope you have the courage to run. Thank you.